but not for too much longer. I need to come
home. Okay, so you guys, this is so crazy. When I was a brand new distributor, like brand spanking new, I literally only knew who like Pam Souter, Jade Hooper, and Mark was. And so when I was a new distributor, anytime that Pam or Mark would post a status, I'd go and look through the comments and I'd go and creep on other distributors. And that's how I like learned my style of posting. And that's how I learned like what posts looked good and what didn't. And in the very beginning of my business, Vanessa commented on one. I didn't even know she was underneath Jade. And I have followed her like from the beginning. And the way that she carries herself is something that attracts so many people. And it's just her belief in our company, in our products, in her future. It's just something that it's attraction marketing at its finest. I have my whole entire team following you on Facebook, so I'm like, this is who you need to watch.
Thank you, Fraser. Hello.
So now your story is like, because I stalk your posts and like I basically like know your whole life. Your story is one that started young. And I think there are probably a lot of people on here who can relate in some shape or form to not just, when you got started with It Works, but from the beginning. So can you kind of just tell your story? And I love that you say, I did it the right way, because you went to college and you did the right thing. And you did the come up and you surprised everybody because the odds were against you and you still found yourself not being able to pay the bills. So I just want you to go through your story really quick and then we'll jump into the questions.
Just reminding my own team, I just realized. Okay, so hey you guys. If you don't know me yet, my name is Vanessa Theus. I'm a Double Diamond on Jade Hooper's team. About to go Ambassador Diamond this year. Hear that? I'm talking to you. I probably woke up everybody in this building. Whatever, they can get over it. Okay guys, so let me try to make my story like 2 minutes because it's like, it's a novel.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so basically the struggle already started when my mom fell in love with a Black person. Okay. My grandfather was like not about that life. So my mom moved out when she was 17. She had my older sister first, and then she had me. And then my father pieced out, and my mother was like completely estranged from like literally everybody. So my mom was young, and she had 2 little mixed race girls, and she did not know what to do. And then about a year, I think it was like a year old or so, my mom's brain just went haywire. I don't know what happened. It could have been the pregnancies, have no idea. But she had manic depression, bipolar disorder, fibromyalgia. It was just the whole shebang. So my mother went from, trying to make it on her own with 2 kids to literally being pretty much disabled. If any of you guys know what that kind of mental disability is, it is so hard because they know they can't help it, but they can't do anything about it. And it's the worst thing in the world to watch people that you love struggle with that type of mental disability. So that's what I grew up with. Probably 8 times a year, my mother was committing suicide, and we'd come home from school and she would be like, oh, your mom's in the hospital again, getting her stomach pumped. Like, that was my childhood. So by the time I was like 12, already had been to juvie like 3 times, like all kinds of stuff. I was like a super angry, mean person. Probably why I never got adopted, because after a couple years, obviously we couldn't live with my mother anymore. I mean, when you're trying to kill yourself all the time, the state steps in and they're like, you can't take care of these kids. So ended up living with a bunch of different families, was not good, lived with some really crappy families. So I ended up just being super, super angry. Almost got kicked out of school. And thank God for really good teachers. I don't know if any of you guys are in the education field, but my God, this teacher, like I already have it planned out. Like when I go ambassador, I'm going to do something amazing for her. Jennifer Legal was her name. And she just showed me love. She showed me like, you know, you're not troubled. You're just angry because you don't have anyone to tell you that you're worthy. And I wasn't stupid. I just couldn't focus, and nobody would help me. Everyone would just yell at me when I was a kid because I was so angry, and rightly so. I was, okay, terrible kid, like just really, really bad. I'm very stubborn. So if I was pissed, I would scream for 7 hours. I would not stop until my voice gave out. Like, I was that kind of kid, you guys. But she just looked at me and was like, I think you just need to be challenged, you know? And so she gave me extra work, harder math, more reading books. And then, you know, she was like, look what you did. I'm proud of you. And then I was like, oh, I'm worth something, you know? And so then she told me, you know, like, did you know you can go to college? Did you know you cannot be poor? Like, I didn't even know this stuff, you guys. Like, that's how messed up my childhood was, that most people, you know, by the time you're 8 or 9, you know, you're like going to go to college and you're going to get a degree. And, you know, poverty is not something you have to be stuck in. I had no idea until I was 15 years old that you could, like, be not what you were born into. Had no idea. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So I became the best student possible. I took every AP class. I was working multiple jobs to pay for those AP classes. I never expected anyone to pay for anything for me. I graduated top of my class, was the valedictorian, president of National Honor Society, if you guys know what all that stuff is. So literally went from like juvie, angry, really troubled child to like, you know, the it girl of my high school class, pretty much. And so I got into a really great school, went to Denison University in Ohio, was so amazing. My first time very far away from home. Literally, my foster sister drove me there, dropped me off with all my stuff. That was it. I didn't have like the parents come with me and help me put my bed together and all that, none of that. It was like, oh, you know, like, this is what you're doing, bye. So I went to Denison University, did really amazing there, met some amazing people, had an incredible opportunities to work my butt off because I had almost a full ride scholarship. And so I knew I had to have a really good grades or I would lose all my money and I could not afford to go to school. So I worked so hard, partied harder though. I don't know how I made it through that, but I'm trying to go ambassador this year. So I'm like, where is College Vanessa? Because that girl did it all. Okay. Sometimes I'm just like, I am granny mode these days. Okay, hold on. Let me focus. Okay. So, yes. Ohio. Yes. So I graduated with, you know, really high honors, in my college. And, I studied theater and chemistry. And, so I moved to New York City 7 days after graduating from school. Oh, I also forgot to mention my sophomore year of college, my mom died from cancer. So that was a whole nother thing that happened all during that time period, which was just like a crazy mess. So anyway, I was reminded of that because when I moved to New York City, I had used like all of my savings from working all these jobs. I had used like all of my savings to help my mom, to help pay for my mom's funeral because, as I said, estranged family, very poor family. There's not a lot of stuff. So moved to New York City on a hope and a prayer because I want to fulfill my dream of Broadway. And just, you know, I believe that God gave me the voice I have for a reason. I'm supposed to do things with that. So I moved there and it was very hard, but that was expected. But what I didn't expect was that I went through all of this stuff, turned my life around, did everything every professional I knew told me to do, and I couldn't find a job, you guys. And like, I know New York City is hard, but also at the same time, there's a million opportunities, you know? And I went to a good school. I have good grades. So like, what's going on? So my first year in the city, I literally spent my whole savings because I had no job. So I was so broke. Literally was at the point where I was like walking to interviews and then walking like 80 blocks home because I couldn't afford like a round trip on the metro to get like back to my apartment. So an interview day for me was like 5 hours. But finally, I got a really good job at an amazing company at an international finance firm. It was amazing, and I thought I had it going on. It was like salary job, like paid vacation. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I get to go have fun somewhere else and you still gonna pay me? I was like, this is it. I made it. You know, I was so thrilled, you know, it was so exciting. And then I learned, you know, like bills, an apartment, and then all of a sudden, you know, 6 months after you graduate, for those of you guys who know, all of a sudden you know, Sally Mae was like, hey, we see you got a really good job, so we're going to need you to pay $600 a month in student loans. And that screwed up my entire budget. Like, no money, not even enough for all my bills. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how can I pay $600 a month? Like, can I just pay $100, $200? Like, they wouldn't even let me bring it down, you guys, because my salary was on file, whatever. And so I had to pay that every month. And that kind of is when everything went downhill. So I have a great job. Now we know that is not really what the promised land is. And so I'm working 9 to 5 plus commute time, plus just dealing with people in New York City, dealing with, you know, midtown kind of people. They have attitude problems. And so between all of that and my student loans, everything else that was going on, I just didn't have any money. And then I also had no time for auditioning. I had no time to do theater, to do the things that I loved. I had to turn down some shows that I really wanted to do, literally because they would take up too much time, and the small stipend they would have paid me wouldn't have been enough. So I was just so crushed that I spent basically since I was 15 living for this dream that I realized is not really true for our generation anymore. And I was depressed, you guys. I was just like, I just was so hopeless. So hopeless. So I started drinking a lot. I started doing drugs. I mean, it's New York City. You can go to any club, go in the bathroom and be like, anybody got something to snort? And you will find somebody. So I became like a horrible mess. Also, I struggled with body image issues. If you guys follow me, you know, I talk about my journey with bulimia and recovery from that. So I was just in a really bad place, really, really unhealthy. Around the time that I found It Works, I was considering leaving New York City, which made me feel like a complete failure. And I just felt so betrayed by the system. You know, I just thought like, why does everybody tell you to do this if it doesn't work? Now that I'm in network marketing and I'm older, I realize it's just because the world is shifting and we happen to be the lucky generation right in the middle of the shift. So that's kind of how that went. And I found It Works. And I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. Around the same time I found It Works, I met my boyfriend in New York City, who's from the Netherlands. With immigration and everything, it's 100% easier for me to move here than it was for him to come to the States. So I made it my goal to go diamond as fast as possible so that I could move here and have an income, because I'm not good with languages. I still don't know anything Dutch whatsoever. It's been 3 years, whatever, judge me if you want. I literally don't care. And so I went diamond in a year. I had a rough start, you guys. It took me 6 months to enroll my first distributor. I was so depressed and down on myself. I had no confidence. My health was horrible, so I kind of felt like a fake. Like, I'm trying to tell these people to use health products, and I'm throwing up my guts every other day and doing lines of Coke and drinking. But like, you should use greens. Like, you guys, it was a mess. So let me tell you, you can do this, even if you feel like a whole lie. You can do this. Like, this business will make you into a truth teller. You can be a lie when you start, okay? So, but I finally got my crap together. I worked really hard, and my 1 year anniversary, I went diamond, got the $20,000 bonus. 2 months later, I moved to the Netherlands, and that's kind of then what happened. By my 2 year anniversary, I went double diamond here in the Netherlands, and now, you know, there's still the rest of the story to be told. So that's my story. I feel that was kind of long, but I don't know how to make it.
No, that's what I needed you to tell, because it's something that I really appreciate, because I think all, you know, diamonds and above, or people that are looked at as leaders, we all have different stories. And there's people on my timeline who may have gone through something that you went through, but I've never been through. And so by sharing bits and pieces of your story, I think it's so important that we share each other's stories. And I know that there are a lot of people in this business that had it worse with the come up, you know, like I was a white girl in a very white, rich neighborhood. Like, I don't know about stuff like that, but it makes me realize that if I can do it, if you can do it, if Jade can do it, if Sarah can, like, if all of these different walks of lives can make 4 figures a month, then there's no body type, skin color, education, background that can hold you back from being successful. So I'm just thankful that you told that. So that leads me to my first question. And I know that because I stalk you, that you've had insane results with our products. And they weren't insane overnight results. They were consistently using the product day after day. So what would you say to someone who works this business but doesn't use the products consistently?
You just have to, okay? You guys hear us talk about this all the time. 90% of your success in this business is your mindset. How are you going to be confident in this business if you do not know what these products do firsthand? You can fake it as much as you want, but you have to know. Like, that's where you're going to get that deep-seated enthusiasm for these products. I mean, these products are why our company's so amazing. They literally change lives, you know, and when you have that personal experience, your confidence is going to be so incredibly strong. You just have to. And like, I know there's always the thing where like people are like, I just don't have the money. Y'all, I did not have the money. And when I started this business, auto shipment was required. If you did not run your auto shipment, you did not get a paycheck no matter how much you sold. Okay? So best believe I was out there slinging some raps to make sure I paid for my auto shipment. You guys, do you want your life to be different? It starts with these products then. Like when I'm a firm believer in this. When people tell me they want to be successful and I see them drinking soda all day long, I'm like, the soda has to go because your body influences your mind. So if you want to be successful, you need to feed your mind good stuff. And that's what makes us money in this business is these incredible products. So you have to use them. It's all stems from there. Okay. Like I ran out of keto coffee this week and I cannot function. Okay. Like you want to go diamond by March 31st, you need to be drinking keto coffee every day. Like you will be like just a freaking robot of a distributor. Okay. You have to make it a priority. And I always tell people, my distributors, you know, go check your bank statement. I promise you that you have $100 worth of crap that you bought every single month. You just don't realize it because it's only $2 for a candy bar here, $5 on the dollar menu here. The cheeseburger is not going to turn around and make you a millionaire in 3 years. But you know what will? Running your freaking auto shipment and showing people that you love these freaking products and you are confident about them. Okay, that's what's going to do that. So I don't want to when people are like, I don't want to run my auto shipment. Well, you don't want to be a millionaire either. So I don't know why we're talking if we're being straight up honest. So that's what I have to say about that.
No, that was literally, I'm over here like, preach, like just keep, like that is so good. And so to follow up with that, I have had people tell me they're too skinny to rap. And I want you to talk about, because I know that your story and I know what you've been through. And I have a teammate of my own who has also struggled with eating disorders. And I think that sometimes we get so caught up in skinny this and weight loss this and lose this pounds. And we forget that there's a whole market of people out there that are looking to gain weight or that are looking to just feel better. They're not looking to lose weight or to gain weight. They just want to feel better. So, I mean, what would you tell someone who's new that has this idea of what they think their market is or what they think their market wants?
You just cannot judge people, you guys. Like, you have no idea what people need. Like, maybe you're talking to someone and they're very thin. Like, I am guilty of this too. Like, when I started my business, I would see people who seem really fit, already have flat stomachs, and I'm like, I'm not going to message them. But then I've had those same people finally reach out to me and they're like, I'm so frustrated. I've been working so hard in the gym and my abs just aren't popping, but they had a flat stomach and I didn't reach out to them. But then they put on a wrap and tighten their skin, which is the issue they didn't know that they needed to work on. And then their abs pop. That's just one example. And I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, do you have skin? Yes, you do. Are you getting older? Yes. Once you hit the age of 25, that's when your cells stop producing faster than they die. You need to wrap. You need to keep it all healthy and looking good. Your skin is the biggest organ on your body. Everybody needs to you need to keep yourself healthy. If you have skin, you can wrap. And you just never, ever know what it is that people are looking to do. You know, maybe for you, maybe for us, for other people, you know, having that little pooch below doesn't bother you. But it might be something that, you know, someone really wants to get rid of, and they're working so hard, and a wrap is that one thing that's going to take them to that next level, you know, that may make them feel better. I know for me, struggling with an eating disorder, I know that our wraps are not a quick fix, right? But you guys, I was struggling so hard, and it was so difficult to transition into being healthy. When I put on a wrap and my stomach was smaller, even though I knew it wasn't fatless or anything, mentally, I felt so good. And it gave me the strength to keep going the next day and making healthier choices. So you just never, ever know why people want to wrap. I mean, what if you say, I think another thing is too, you look at people and you're like, oh, their stomach's so skinny. Okay, so what if they want to wrap their arms? What if they're a really skinny girl, but you know, you got a little junk in the trunk and you're trying to like tighten it up? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's skinny girls who got booty. Shout out to the skinny girls with the booty. You know, you just don't know. Don't judge them. Our job is to be the messenger. Offer the product to people. They will decide if they need it or not. Okay? And even if you don't like the wrap yourself, if you're a thin person and you're like, I don't really need to wrap, I'm really happy with how I look. So there's a lot of products on our product line I don't use because they're not my jam. I'm still going to offer them to someone who might love them. So
good. Okay. We had to get those questions out of the way because I just continuously, you're a product of the product, and it's not in a pushy way. And it's not, I creeped your Instagram earlier today when I was trying to think of these questions, and I was scrolling down and I was like, dang, like this girl uses our products. Like she uses and if someone, say you followed me and I had no clue who you were and I followed you back, and just by scrolling down your page, I'd be like, oh wow, like she really loves whatever these products are. And that would make me, because we see it all the time in our generation with the social media influencers. And it's like, try this face cream and try this planner book and try this meal to go. And you're like, constantly on social media, you're bombarded with things that you should love and things that you should try. And it's it's how the people share them that makes people decide, like, okay, yeah, like she seems really cool. She obviously stands behind this product. Wow, she has, you know, followers that are commenting and saying they love their product too. Like, wow, she's legit. And so I think that's so important, is that, you know, even if you start off, and I always try and have my new distributors order one product. Right now we have the amazing deal with the kit where they're like, if I had, I hope they keep that forever, because
I seriously, every single freaking post from Mark or Pam, I'm like, can you please revamp the kit? Like, just revamp it all together. Yep. Maybe just 2 wraps, 3 keto coffees, 2 greens. Like, please, like, oh my gosh, yes. That's 5. Yeah. That is the jam.
Yeah, seriously. And so, okay, so now on to branding, because that's what we're talking about. That's what the people want to know about. So I want to ask you, what does branding mean to you? In a sense that we may have someone on here that is 2 hours in the business and someone that's been here for 2 years. So in simplest terms, what does branding mean to you?
Okay. So you know how when you guys go on a website and that little box pops up and they're like, type what's in the box so we know you're not a robot? That's why you have to brand yourself, because there is so much crap on social media now. So when you branding yourself, like, you don't have to think of it as like this whole thing, because I didn't even know that this is what I was doing 2 years ago. I just knew that I only want to put out what I believe in and what I stand by. So you guys, branding yourself is literally just being yourself so fully. You know what I mean? What do you love? What do you like? What's your style of speech? You know, what are like silly, goofy things that you always do? That's your brand. Those are the things that make people love you, that people, you know, like Allie, something she branded herself, she doesn't even know. On her live video, she always drinks something in a really cute cup. She didn't even know she did that. But now people are like, ooh, I wonder what cup Allie's going to be drinking out of. What's she drinking while her live video starts? You know what I'm saying? That's branding yourself, guys. You're just being you. And then, you know, something that's one of those things you got to pay attention to. When you realize that that's something people react to, you got to pay attention to those things. Your followers will tell you what your brand are. Your followers will tell you the things that they love about you. So for me, like, that's what branding is, like really being true to yourself. And I know that's not easy when you first start. Like I said, when I first started, I was a whole mess, you know, but branding yourself is just finding those main points that make you who you are. You know, the things that are just always you, that you just naturally do, that you're inclined to do, you know. And it can be the simplest things, you know. Like I've just always been kind of like a preacher mom talker. So I always make sure when I write my posts, I sound like that. You know what I mean? Like just very simple things like that. Like that's what branding is to me. Like when I go to someone's page, I want to know, who are you? Like, I love when I read posts and I know that, like, the way someone writes their post is the way they talk. Like, you don't have to always be so professional with everything you do, right? So, like, those kind of things are like, if you're a Southern person, type out some of your words so they have, like, a Southern twang. Like, it's fun. It makes it enjoyable to read your post, and it makes it you, right? And if you've gone live, then people read your posts with your voice, and it hits them so much more. Like everything I read of Allie's, I hear your voice, like every time. And I'm always like, and you're not even there. I'm like, that's like a post from 2 days ago, but I'm like,
that's so funny. Because when I read yours, I literally, like, I feel like I should have my, like, headband, like, tied in the front, like, for real, like, with the FR, like, like, but it's funny because it's those things that stick out. And I was talking to Laura this morning, and I was like, I'm doing this Zoom with Vanessa. I'm wicked pumped. And she's like, that girl, I just want to know how she writes life posts that nobody can copy, because I've tried copying them and I can't. You can't copy your posts because they're too relatable. Yeah, you can't. I'm like, and it's true. Like if I am scrolling for inspiration on, you know, several different people that I scroll down, and I'm like, all right, I need to write a life post. Like I need an idea. And I read yours and I'm like, that was just so personal that I don't even think I can take anything from it, because I feel like I'll be like copywriting over here. Like I feel like, and so, but that is what sets you apart. And that's what you said, is there's so much like just stuff on social media, and our followers, many of them are millennials. And if they're not millennials, they're still 30, 40, 50. They're not dumb. They're not going to spend 7 hours scrolling on stuff that doesn't, you know, isn't important to them or doesn't catch their eye. And so I think that kind of goes into the next question about, you know, 2 to 3 like simple tips on how to, I know you said about like the way we talk. And I think that's a big thing, is that people copy and paste.
Is everything.
Yeah. So if you were sitting down to write a life post, like let's just say you're going to sit down right now and write one, what are, you know, 2 things that you make sure when you're writing your life post that you pay attention to so that you shine through into the post? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So like a big thing that is so simple to do, but I feel like people get caught up in, like, I mean, you know, in school we had to write so whatever perfectly. What I literally do is I write my thoughts. So when I'm writing a post and I say something and I'm like, LOL, that was funny, I write that too. Okay? Don't take those parts out, you guys. Like if you're writing something and you think you're funny, then also put you think you're funny in the post. So that's one thing I always do, is that what do they call that? Like free thought writing.
Yeah.
You know? And I do this a lot. And like a lot of my life posts start kind of like not very nice and jumbled, but I keep the pieces that are good. So when you are writing something, you guys, write what you're really thinking. It's okay if it's not perfect grammar and perfect this and perfect that. Like write how you talk, because we live in a generation now where everybody can infer. This is what we do all day. We infer emojis, we infer speech, we infer everything. I mean, why do you think people get in so many arguments from texting? Because we infer speech. So put your style of speech, anything that you do when you post, put it in there. It will make a huge difference to your personality, your likability, your, your authenticity, all of those things. So that's like one of my biggest things that I feel like, really makes a difference. And people always feel like I'm just talking to you like a friend. I'm not like, and I started my business in 2014. And you know what I mean? I'm like, I started my business like back in the day, like almost 4 years ago. I'm feeling old. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how I would explain it to someone who was in my face.
Mm-hmm.
When you write stuff, you guys, you need to do it. You just need to do it without trying to be, I don't know, I guess the word is professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're professionals, but when you're writing, you need to just speak how you speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think that's the first thing I do to make sure that I write a post that is really, really me. And then it's always hilarious when I do see people copy them because they don't change anything. And I'm like, girl, please. I like want to comment so bad.
Yeah.
Like, you can totally use my post, but like, if you don't use the ghetto words that I use, you can edit that out. Ixnay, y'all. That is just, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so that's like the first thing I do. And then I always try to, like, whether it's a product post or just about my life, I always put something in there that is my own experience. So say like, so even product posts, a lot of people don't copy my product posts either because there's always a section in there where I talk about my own thing. And how can I do that? Because I freaking use my products. If I'm talking about wraps, even if I'm posting a picture of someone else's wrap results, I will say, man, I'm so happy for this girl. She got these amazing wrap results. And then I will be like, I love wrap so much too, because when I was losing weight, I was trying to get those abs to pop and nothing was happening. And then I did some wraps and my abs popped and that made me love them so much. And I love that other people get to love them how I love them. Do you want these? You know what I mean? Like, any opportunity you get to insert yourself, your opinion, what you think of whatever you're talking about, you need to do that. I kind of forgot the question now.
No, that was so good. I mean, in these questions, I have some like questions about life posts, so we're on the right track. So my second question is, where do you find your inspiration for your life posts when you're having a rough day? Because believe it or not, diamonds and above, like, we still have rough days.
Like, it's like a long, rough day.
Yeah, we still have those. And I was talking to my team earlier tonight, and I had some emerging leaders, and they were asking, and they were telling me that they feel like when they're having an off day, they transfer those emotions onto their teammates. And it comes through in life posts, and it comes through in anything that you post, until you get good at taking your emotions, like not letting those ugly emotions shine through, and not in a way that you don't talk about them, or you're supposed to be fake, or you can't admit that, you have stuff going on. But I feel like after so long in this business, you learn that, for me, it's not my teammates' responsibility to worry about how I'm feeling. That's me. I got it. Like, I don't worry. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to have a bad day. But that's not my team. Like, my teammates shouldn't get a nasty message from me because I'm having a bad day. I'm not perfect. Sometimes we slip up, not going to lie. Like, shout out, my team's over there rolling their eyes like, okay, Allie, we know. But, and it's the same thing with life posts, because I've seen people, and I read a life post and I'm like, they must be having a bad day, or somebody made them mad, or that's like a subtweet to someone, or, and so when you're having a bad day, how do you continue to write positive and uplifting life posts?
Literally self-development. My go-to thing when I'm having a bad day is I get on YouTube. I am a firm believer in reading. Reading is also so good. It's such a great exercise for your brain. But when I'm in a bad mood, I don't have enough focus to be sitting there reading. So I get on YouTube, you guys, and so many of my aha moments come from just sitting and watching a video. I never watch a self-development video on YouTube or anything without a pen and paper, without my journal. Because these people, you guys, they're sharing their struggles on their journey to success. And 9 times out of 10, you are going to hear something that you're going through at this moment. And it's going to give you an aha moment. And another thing, I actually learned this from Allie. I don't know when you said this, but you said at some point, like, you kind of use some of your posts as your journal.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a rough day, you talk about it, but you turn it around into a lesson. And I have started doing that, and man, people react like, because you're able to, you don't want to transfer negative energy onto people. I feel like that is so rude and so mean, and I hate that because we're human, right? Nobody is strong enough to put up a shield to get rid of negative energy. If someone comes in a room with negative energy, we're all going to feel it, and I get pissed at those people. But at the same time, you want to show people that you are the same and that we also have struggles. You want to relate. So how can you share your rough day but make it so people finish reading your post feeling uplifted? And I got that from you, Allie. And so that's what I try to do, guys. When I have a tough day, it's not a day where like, oh no, I can't write anything because I'm not super shiny and happy. No, okay, your tough day, this is a day to write a post where you relate to someone. You're going to watch some self-development, feel better about it, and then write at the end of your post the lesson so that people can see, oh, okay, I'm going through that too. This is how she got herself out of it and is feeling better and moving forward towards her goals. So that's really what I do, you guys. My life posts all come from aha moments from watching self-development, like everything. Every single thing I write. I'm always journaling. My boyfriend is always so annoyed with me because we literally cannot watch anything. I stop it every 10 minutes because I have to write something down. But because if I don't write anything down, I will not remember a word of it. So that's really what I do, you guys, on my tough days. Don't be afraid of your tough days. Your tough days are extremely empowering. I don't know who said this quote, but someone said like, what inspires people more is not that you're always up here, but that they know that you were here and you went up again. So don't be afraid of those tough days. Don't be afraid that you can't share that you had a bad day. But you can always make it a lesson. That's what you want to do with your tough days. Turn your tough days into a lesson. And there's been so many times where I'm having a horrible day and I'm like, oh, I really need to post something because of course we need to post every day. And I end up healing myself by trying to write a lesson for my followers. I write something and I'm like, dang, that is so good. I just made myself feel better and I didn't even mean to. So that's what I suggest you do when you have tough days. Don't hide away from them. Write it down. Right? What is it that's making you have a tough day? What are you feeling? Are you feeling not confident? Are you feeling insecure? Do you not feel like you can reach your goal? Okay, go into YouTube, search something along those lines, watch it, and you will find something. You will find something that someone says the same thing about, are you feeling insecure? Why? God makes no mistakes. You are supposed to be how you are right now in this moment. And then, that's something that I watched the other day. And then I realized, I write a post, like I was feeling crap like this today, but I realized like, it's okay for me to be in this moment. And it doesn't mean because I feel like this right now that I'm not going to be successful later. And then that's what my post was for that day. Mm-hmm. And I had so many comments on it. So
it's so true. I think that
tough days post writing.
It's funny because I went through this place in my business right when I was an Emerald. And I got a little full of myself after boom season, went from distributor to Emerald in 2 months. Like I thought that I was like, that's it. Like I know I'm good. And I started feeling myself in a way that I started seeing people like Tiffany Herr, like Jocelyn Yates, like people that, I wanted after the things that they had, but I also wanted to look like them and talk like them and breathe like them. And all of a sudden I was buying clothes that weren't me and more was like them. And my mom, God love her, she called me out on it. And she was like, I'm reading your post, Allie, and you were coming off fake AF. Like my mom was like real with me. And I was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm an Emerald in this business. Okay. Like fake it till you make it. And she's like, and it was a lesson that I had to learn. I was faking it to an extent where I was coming off completely fake. Mm-hmm. And people can tell that too, especially if you get on lives or if they see your face or hear your voice in anything. Like they'll know nobody has a perfect 3 months where they don't have a mental breakdown or a cry in their car and turn the music up real loud or need a couple glasses of wine moment. And that's what my mom said. She said, you know what, Allie? You don't have to fake it till you make it, to the point where you're so fake that you don't even recognize who you are. If you're having a bad day, if you stepped in, dog threw up and slid down the hall, talk about it. But like you said, Vanessa, use it as a lesson. Use it as inspiring to show them that, look, I'm just as real as you are. You know, and that's the thing, you guys, we get so caught up in watching, you know, people that we look up to, whether it's Jade or Tiffany or Alyssa, or we get so hooked on watching them. And I think anybody that's been doing this for long enough gets caught up in that. And all of a sudden you're posting and it doesn't really sound like you. And the selfies that you're taking, or the filter you're throwing on it. And you're like, you know, I look back at the post I did last year and I was like, who the heck, like, it's funny to look back. And so I'm glad you said that, because I don't want anyone to think, you know, that you can't share who you are and that you can't share that you're having a bad day. What you don't want to do is get on there and be like, wham, poor me, I'm broke, my car popped. But by the way, join my team because I'm like making so much. Like, you have to be intentional with your.
Yeah, you can't do it like that. And going off of that, you guys, like, if this business starts feeling hard, if figuring out, if posting, trying to figure out what to wear in a picture, if it starts getting hard, then you know you're on the path to trying to be something you're not. Because if you're yourself every day, it's the easiest thing in the world. You don't have to think about it. So that's something to take a note of too. Like, I had a phase in my business too where I'm like, everything is so hard, I just can't make it perfect. And it's like, I've been being me for 27 years. Why is this so hard? You know what I mean? So be yourself. It makes this business so much easier and so much more fun.
So going off of that, this is really good. You talk about your past and you talk about your struggles and you're open, and there are a lot of people that are too afraid to do that. And the one thing that I always tell my teammates is, like, if you're not going to, I'm going to, and they're going to sign with the person that does it. So, I mean, that's everybody's personal call. If you don't want to share about that one time that you had to, you know, whatever, do your laundry at the laundromat and didn't have enough money to dry it, then whatever. But you've been through some stuff, and I'm sure it wasn't the easiest to share in the beginning. And I'm sure even now there are times where you have a little, like, put your phone down after you yeah, like,
criticize me, what are they going to say?
yeah, I mean, and it's human. So what was your aha moment when you realized that, like, either you could do it or you weren't going? Like, you know what I mean? Like, either you were going to do it or you weren't, but there were going to be two different results, like if you did or if you didn't.
Right. I think what really got me there was I was just tired of being a slave to my own insecurities. And I realized at some point or another, my insecurities are going to get brought up. With what I want to do with my life, people are going to be knowing who I am, and it's going to come out, right? I'd rather it come out from me first. And you guys, I cannot tell you how much power there is in you sharing the things that you thought were going to break you. Okay? If you want to be, the reason it took me so long to be successful in this business, my first 6 months, because I had so many insecurities and I wanted to hide them from everybody, because I thought if people thought that I was perfect, they would like me better. And that's just completely not true. Nobody likes anyone who's perfect, because none of us are perfect. Like, I don't want to be around perfect people. You know? So I realized I need to set myself free. I'm so afraid that if I put myself out there, someone's going to find out about my bulimia and criticize me. I'm so afraid that people are going to know that I'm poor. Like, I used to be so embarrassed of being poor, you guys. Like just fearfully, I thought it meant that I was a terrible, crappy person. I would hide it at all costs. You know, just so many things. I used to be afraid to tell people that my mother had mental disabilities, because I didn't want people to judge me about my family life, or all of these, so many things. And I realized I can never be successful in my life if I'm afraid of those things. How can I, the thing that set me free was sharing those things and, like, letting them go. I had to let them go. And what better way to do that than to share them with other people? And what you will find is that what you end up doing is giving people permission to accept their own crap too. And then people have this, like, respect for you. And it's not about trying to get this respect, but that's what ends up happening, right? And so I just realized, like, I knew why I wasn't successful, because I was so afraid of my insecurities. It's kind of like, I don't know, do you guys know the 8 Mile? Some of you guys might be too young. That ending rap battle always hit me when I was really younger, when I was a lot younger when it came out. But what happened was, you know what rap battles are about. You know, like, it's all about, like, who can throw the most hate on everybody. And the last one, Eminem literally just said, you know what? Screw you. Yeah, I've had a problem with this. Yeah, my mom was a whore or whatever she was. Yeah, I didn't have money. Yeah, this. Yeah, that. Yeah, I went to jail. Yeah, I went to this. I accept it all. All of the crap in my life, I will build my castle with every freaking brick of all the crap that's happened in my past, all the crap that has been brought in my life. I will put it in my field to help my crops grow. That's what it made me realize, is that, like, when you own up to everything, I'm not scared of you telling me that I was bulimic and I had issues now, because I know, I own up to it. So now I'm not afraid of anybody coming up to me being like, oh, you had an eating disorder. Oh, I wonder what that means. Oh, you must be insecure. Yeah, you can scroll back 5 months. I already told you. We are moving past that point. You got to set yourself free, you guys. I know it's so scary to be vulnerable, but, like, it will make you stronger. Like, the truth shall set you free is, like, so real. It is so real. You have to let it go. And let it be your building blocks to help someone else let it go. And the first time you do that and you realize the effect it has on people, like, literally every day, you guys, I have people who message me and tell me that my bulimia story is, like, the reason that they're in rehab today. Like, you guys, some days I just cry all day because I didn't know that me just setting myself free is helping other people way far away outside of this business. Okay. And it really, you have to set yourself free. Like, I don't care what it is that happened to you. You just have to put it out there. I mean, obviously I'm not going to say that, like, there's things other people have gone through. There's still some levels in my life that I'm not ready. I'm going to put them out there. But if you're somebody who tries to hide everything, you're really holding yourself back. It's like trying to, swim to the shore, but you have, like, a ton of bricks tied to your feet. Untie them, because there's a whole bunch of other people in the ocean doing the same thing, and everybody's struggling to breathe and get above water, and nobody knows what to do. But then they watch you untie the bricks on your feet and let them go and know how light you are, and then they're like, oh, I'll do that too. That's what you're doing when you're vulnerable and you're sharing your story. So that, I don't know. I just had that aha one day, and the first time I ever did that, it was terrifying. But I was the most terrified and felt the most empowered simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that's, ever since then, I just don't stop. Like,
well, I think, like,
put out there.
I think with one of the biggest things is that, like, you could have come on here and not shared your story, and we just got right into questions, and you could have said that and it wouldn't have hit people the way that it did, because they know where you came from. And that is the biggest thing, is that not only are you freeing yourself essentially, but you have people that are watching you even before you are in this business, whether or not there are people back in my hometown. I check their Facebook literally probably every other day, just because I'm like, did they get engaged yet? Did she have her baby yet? Like, did he get his master's degree? Like, are they we watch people because we're curious, we're human beings, and nothing has helped my business more than me putting it all out on the table and being like, watch me. Watch me with all of that happened. Watch me with everything. You know what? It's embarrassing to admit that I had to ask my mom for money for tampons. But guess what? 2 years later, they watched me pay for my mom's wedding in cash.
Right.
And if you share, especially in the beginning, you share your roughness and your struggles and your insecurities, and you set the earlier on you set yourself free, the more impressed and the more captivated people are going to be, because they're going to be like, wow. And that's one of the biggest things with attraction marketing and with mass enrolling distributors. And I truly believe that that's why we mass enroll distributors. It's because we're so just like naked with everything. Like, here, you want to know about this? You want to know about that? You want to know about, let me tell you about it all. And I think that that's a big thing. Like you said, you know, let me be the first to tell you. I'm not going to have someone come back and tell me about that one time that I was carrying, but let me tell you the real story from my point of view. So that was so good. So I have two more questions, a few more, and then I think there's a few in the chat. But so the first one is, can you touch on what it means to add value to your followers and friends? Because I think that what a lot of people get caught up on is product, life post, and all of a sudden they went from being a normal human being to a walking billboard. And people, you know, just speaking on adding value and ways that people can do that.
Okay, so definitely I feel like obviously we're adding value to people's lives because we're offering them an opportunity, we're offering them products. But the biggest thing that I try to always stick to is what is the feeling I'm giving off when I put out what I'm putting out. So when we're let's just start with the business, because that's the whole reason most of us started being on social media in the first place, right? So let's talk about the business. How do you make somebody feel something when you write a business post? See, this goes back to using your products. When I talk about the products, I put so much emotion into how happy I am that someone else feels good, or they don't have joint pain, or the wraps did this and that, because I know what it feels like myself. And so I can speak about it in a way that other people know what it means to me. So when they read a cleanse post or a wrap post or whatever, they're not just reading like, you should buy this because it's awesome. They're finishing reading my post feeling like, oh wow, like, man, I have really been feeling down about my, post baby pooch too, but I feel like it will really make me feel better. It's the transfer of a feeling that people are addicted to. So that's always like my biggest thing when I post anything that I post is like, I want somebody to feel something from my post, because that's what's going to matter. So that's what you need to do when it comes to your business posts. You need to talk about things with real emotion, what these products really do that make people feel so good. You need to put that in your post. And that goes back to like, you have to put time, you got to put some time into it. You can't just throw up a cleanse post from Post for Customers. Like, yes, I use those too sometimes, you guys, but I always edit them and put in some real emotion in it. So that's literally the biggest thing you can do on your page, is put emotion into your page. Now, as far as adding value to other things that are fun to give your page not so much business, right? So you can add value to people by telling them where you bought things, right? Do you love makeup? Okay, if you're somebody who has a full face of makeup on every other day, whatever, every time you post about your makeup, be like, in case you guys were wondering, like, I got this makeup from this and this and this. You just added value. They saw that you love this makeup, made you feel good. You told them exactly where to buy it. So now they're going to be like, oh, I always like that girl. I like how her makeup looks, and she usually knows where the best, lipsticks are. I'm going to go to her page because they can find value there. Same thing, like for me, like I love clothes and funky fashions. So anytime I get like a new item of clothing, I always tell people where I got the clothes. You're adding value to people's life by telling them where they can add something to their life. Maybe it's food too, right? Like if you're sharing a recipe of something you made, you're giving somebody something they can use, like a tangible thing that they can use, information. Also just like entertainment, like if you're a funny person, if you like to sing, all of those kinds of things. Like you have to give people a reason to want to come to your page, and it can't just be because they can buy something there. It has to be like, if you think about it this way, if you weren't selling anything, would people ever come to your page? What's on your page if you weren't selling anything that people would want to stick around and like see every day? That's what you need to do, with value. Maybe it's you just take really beautiful pictures. You're a good photographer. And a big thing for me is, as I've been letting my natural hair flourish. I talk about my natural hair all the time and the journey with that, and letting go of the societal norms that made me feel like my natural hair was ugly and those kind of things. And I share with people, this is the product I'm using. This is something that has worked. Things like that. So people who are going through that same transition, they come to my page every day to see what I'm saying about it. So that's what you need to do. Your page. So that's what you guys can do for homework. Go to your page. Don't look at any It Works posts. And you need to see, like, within the first 12 posts, is there any value in any other posts at all that have nothing to do with It Works? If it's not, then you really have to figure out your niche for that. Because if you guys haven't been paying attention to the algorithms, engagement is everything. And if you don't add value to people, they will not come. And if you don't have people coming to your page, your visibility is nothing. So you're literally just posting for no reason.
Yeah, that's so good. That's exactly what, I wanted you to touch on. And another thing that you can do is, you guys, like, Pinterest is so stinking underrated. And I'm not talking about taking pictures from Pinterest, because I have learned in this business that pictures from Pinterest or any other sites are great. But when you take your own pictures, like, and it's your backyard, it's your dogs, it's your it's your kitchen. That's when people are like, it doesn't matter if you have a marble countertop. They know it, as long as it's your kitchen, people like that. So I started going to Pinterest in the very beginning and looking up every single time I went grocery shopping. Because guess what? We all have to grocery shop. Maybe we don't have money to go out and go shopping or do things and try new makeup. But you know what I mean? We all have to eat. And you can do something like, 5 meals for $50 and do a week worth of 5 meals and challenge yourself and make it a thing for 5 days that, each meal and show how that there's endless amounts of things on Pinterest that you can make your own and use as value for your page. But it takes creativity. It takes time. It takes effort. And that's the difference between people that stand out on social media and people that blend in. Is the people that stand out, they're no different. They just took more time and effort and decided that, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, like, I got to do this big. So that leads me to selfies. Vanessa, oh my gosh. Like, you are just like, and I was just looking through your Instagram earlier and I was like, I'm attracted. There's got to be some science, some there's got to be some type of scientific proof behind selfies attracting people to other people. And I don't know the exact, like, statistics, but man, like, when I see selfies, when I see a person, like, it's almost like you can see the story in the person's face. And so I know that, like you said, that you've been through some stuff and you have your bad days, as we all do. So how important is selfies to you, and how do you use selfies to benefit your business?
Well, I feel like selfies are huge. Like, I've heard a couple people in the business say, like, you shouldn't have a bunch of selfies on your page and only once every 3 posts. And I'm like, no, ma'am. I have selfies all day, every day. People are coming to my page to buy me. So I should be on my page, right? Like, people don't, like, if I was It Works Global, I would be the It Works Global page. You see how they do their page, right? Everything is It Works Global, everything is products, everything is this and that. I am Vanessa, who happens to make money selling It Works Global products, but my page is not It Works Global, right? So I feel like selfies are the number one thing that are so important. I taught this to my boyfriend, who was really uncomfortable with it, and he has like 17,000 Instagram followers, you guys, because he used to just post all this other crap all the time. And I said, no, you need to post selfies. And his following just shot out of nowhere. People want to come and see you. You are the brand. You are your page, right? Like, if you think about, like, if you go to someone's page and people want to go there to see travel pictures, every picture is a picture of a beautiful place on this earth, because that's the point of the page, right? So do not shy away from selfies. I don't know about you, but I love people watching. Like, when you go places, Are you staring at the trees? Are you staring at the ground? Are you staring at the bugs? No, you're like, oh, look at her hair. Oh, look at her makeup. Oh, did you see her clothes? Oh, oh yeah, he cute. You know what I'm saying? When you are just watching people, it's people. The people is the focus, you guys. So if you have a issue with selfies, you have to get over that. It's not a, I think I'm so awesome, blah, 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 blah. But like, people want to know who you are, right? So selfies are just so incredibly important. And I think anytime that you can put yourself in a post, you should do it. So I mean, like, you with a picture of you holding the cleanse, you holding hair, skin, and nails. Even when you get, if you're going to post that you earned a weekly $100 bonus, don't post the bonus receipt. Put the bonus receipt on a picture of you. Like, Allie, you do this really good. Laura does this really good. Chrissy does this really good. They make these pictures where they're like pointing and then they put the picture right there. It's eye-catching. They always say the eyes, nobody can look away from your eyes, right? Like, they just can't. So if you have a photo where your eyes are in the picture, people are going to stop. And that's what you want them to do. Nothing is more magnetic than somebody's eyes. And you need people to stop on your page. If you want them to know you got a weekly $100 bonus, they're going to stop because of your face. And then they're going to be like, what is she pointing at? And then they are going to see, oh, she got a $100 bonus this week from her phone. What is that about? And then they're going to read your post. It all starts with you. Like, when you think about, I don't know, I creep on Instagram all the time because I like to get ideas from people who inspire me, who like the same things that I like. How do they have 400,000 followers and they never follow anybody? Like, how do they have paid partnerships with all these clothing brands? Like, let me, what you doing? So, you know what I'm saying? These girls and these other people, it's all them, you guys. It's all them. When they're talking about a product, it's them with the product. When they're talking about anything, it's them. Like, I have this one girl, she has all these paid partnerships with shoes. But if you look at her pictures, I can't remember her name right now. I could look it up. Every photo with feet, they're her feet. They're her feet. I noticed, so that means all her other followers notice, which means I respect her because she's taking the time to be like, you want to buy these shoes? I love them. They're on my feet. I care more because they're on her feet. You know what I mean? I'm going to care more about your cleanse because you're holding it, you're using it. So, like, selfies are everything. Selfies are life to me. Like, I've been approached already by 2 companies to do paid partnerships, but they weren't really my jam. And one of them was kind of too close to it works. So I didn't do it. You guys, it's because it's me. People can see that people come to my page because of me, not because of what I sell or any of that, me first. So how can people do that if you're not posting selfies of yourself? So that's my jam about that. Like, you have to take pictures of yourself. Like, get in the dang mirror and love yourself. Like, I would be modeling, okay? Like, I'm Tyra. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's self-power.
It's the confidence too. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's so funny, and we're human beings, and we look at ourselves naked all the time when we get out of the shower, and we look at our insecurities. And, I have some really amazing friends that when I post a selfie or my boyfriend or, whoever it is. And a lot of people maybe don't have people that are like, girl, you're so beautiful. But when my friends tell me, like, wow, girl, like, you look so good in that selfie, the more they tell me that and the more I hear that, the more I believe it. And it wasn't like that when I started. I remember I wouldn't get on Snapchat unless my makeup was done, my hair was straight, like, and now I'm on there, like, 2 chins, like, literally, like, hair's flying everywhere, like, a zit popping out, and I'm like, sup, ladies? Like, this is just me, like, and it's the confidence that shines through that is you can't get it from a random person holding a cleanse. Like, they don't know that person. So it's great that Cheyenne loves her cleanse. And yes, it's okay to put up, posts that show that other people love our products. But if you want someone to truly believe what you're selling and believe what you're telling, you need to be the one that's doing it. And so that was so good. All right, our last question. And, like, you guys, I woke up this morning and I looked at my phone and realized that tomorrow's the 25th. And I always know the 25th is because that's when everybody's orders run and I get all my volume right and we're all like, okay, this is what I need.
Falling all day.
Yeah. So I woke up and I'm like, Next week we're going to be in conference, and dang, January's like over. And everybody, I don't know, I mean, the 227 people on here heard us talking about boom season in September. They heard us talking about boom season in October and November and December. And boom season's here. I don't know if y'all, and I'm seeing it on the team page. Some people are like, oh, well, like when is boom season? When is boom season? Boom season's been happening for 3 weeks now. I mean, we have girls that are literally pulling in almost 100 loyal customers in 20 days. Boom season is now, people. Like, you know, like the train is gone, left the station, like we took off. So can you just give us speak some life into, you know, 2018 and where you're going and what boom season looks like so far to you? Because I know that it's just been like everything, it's almost like for me, everything's kind of been put on hold, and it's like I'm trying to get as many phone numbers and names, and it's like a game. Like I'm like, it's, you know, it really is. And I feel like in boom season, one team, one mission, but like it's whoever puts in the most work is going to get the most loyal customers, is going to make the most money. Like it is like a dog eat dog type thing. Like I love you and I'm cheering for you, but like I'm going to go get like as many loyal customers as I can. So just talk to us about that. And maybe there is someone that's like, oh my, well, it's been 3 weeks and I've signed 2 loyal customers, and like, what happened to boom season? Just speak some life into us.
Okay. What you guys got to understand about boom season is, okay, if you are seeing people, see, and this is the thing, I've been on both sides of this. So I can speak for both sides. So I have been the person where January 1st hits and I'm just like, my e-suite is broken because every time I look at it, there's like new, I don't know how to place, I don't know how to promote, there's too much. Like I've had that boom season, and I've also had the one where January I'm like, Lord, can I get some more photosynthesis on this field? Like I planted these seeds, was nothing growing, you know? So I've been on both sides, but either way, what you guys have got to understand, like, boom season is exponential growth, okay? And I think some people don't realize this. What happens is like, so if you're the people now who things are popping now, brace yourself. My goodness, brace yourself. Everything will literally go exponentially. If you think you're doing good now, all of a sudden, people are just going to be banging down your door. Like people you forgot you even messaged 3 months ago, because you should have so many follow-up people. You should have so many potentials. You don't even remember them. They're just coming at you. And not only that, just random people through social media too who are coming at you. It's just insane. Everything just seems to fall in place. And that makes sense. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. People want to feel good. Summer's coming. Everybody wants to, you know, get a little healthy, get rid of the holiday, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Also, there's just this mindset shift that happens in the new year where everyone's like, oh, I'm a little braver. I'm going to start my business this year, all these different things.
Just to interrupt you really quick, I was just saying that to one of my distributors. I can tell the difference. Like people are actually listening to me, and they're like actually interested in cleansing, and like they actually care. And I'm like having a heartfelt conversation, and I'm like thankful that I worked my business through those months where people were being petty and mean and blocking me, because now I'm just like, but keep going. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. There's this mindset shift, you guys, and that's why it's just incredible. Okay, so that's like obviously people's boom times already starting now. Like that happens for a lot of people. It happens for people who've been around longer. Like if you're somebody who maybe you started last April and you feel like nothing's popping yet, that's okay. Because let me tell you something, the year that I went Double Diamond. So the year that I went Double Diamond, January of 2016, I was obviously a diamond. And I thought like, okay, I'm diamond at the end of January. Like I want to double my GV. And that didn't really happen, you know? Like I was still following up with people. My team was doing really good. We were all enthusiastic. We're all super excited. And it was kind of still like normal, like a more or less normal enrollment month. And I'm like, where's the magic? But you keep going. You guys, so it was February. And I think 2016 was whatever. I don't remember. February is a short month, right? I went to conference 2016, so flew from Europe. And we stayed for 2 weeks because we wanted to, be in Orlando and do all that stuff. And I went to a Disney for the first time. So mind you guys, 2 weeks I was on vacation of February. Went to conference, did all this stuff. I'm like, what's going on with my chart? I think I needed 8,000 GV to go double. We needed 12 distributors. When I got home on the 15th of February, when I got home, I promoted to Double Diamond 13 days later. Did you hear what I said? Exponential growth, you guys. The boom season is exponential. You might be one of those people who it's kind of chugging along, and then March is your exponential growth where it just really blows up for you. You guys, oh man, you just have to just keep riding the wave, because I've been on both ends. I've been on where January 1st, it's amazing. And then the year I went Double Diamond, my January wasn't really popping yet. It just wasn't. I don't know why. But literally, you guys, it was just so crazy to me that I was on vacation for 2 weeks in February. And then the last 2 weeks of the shortest month of the year, I went Double Diamond and with way over 25,000 in volume. My team, I don't know, the Lord was like, oh, we wanted you to have fun on vacation. When you went to conference, we're proud of you for flying across the world. Now when you get home, here's all your junk. That's what it felt like, So you have to have faith in that, you guys, because another reason boom time is so important is because the momentum that you build now will continue your business on an amazing path for the rest of the year. Okay? This is not a boom time business. I know that there are people who have that mindset. Oh my God, if I don't promote during boom time, it'll never happen. No, stop putting limitations on yourself. No, we don't do that around here. I don't know if you guys have heard of Chad and Jeree Caneller. It's Caneller, right? I always want to know.
I think so.
Yeah. You guys, what they did to their business during a boom time back in the day, 90 days, they went from, I don't even know what, to I think both being paid as presidential diamonds. And because of that 190-day exponential shift, their business has never been slow or under 5 figures a month ever again because of that 90 days. But one thing that stood out to me when they were talking about that was that it wasn't until March, I don't know what day it was, the last 30 days of the 90 days that all of a sudden everything just freaked out. It was the first 30 days they're going so hard and it's boom time and they're everyone says this is supposed to be a thing, what's going on? And the first 30 days they just, promote to Emerald. The next one, Double Diamond, and they're how the heck am I supposed to go from Double Diamond to presidential in the next 30 days? Exponential growth, you guys. What you got to realize is every single person that you bring into your business, they're going to be on that momentum with you, right? Every single person that you bring. So every 5 people that you bring, they can bring 5 people, and they can bring 5 people, and they can bring 5 people. That's exponential growth. And that is what boom time is. And on top of that, because of that mindset shift and the tax returns that everybody gets, it's insane. It's insane. And so if you're someone who's already popping in January, hey, you did your duty last fall. If you guys are feeling still things aren't going, also you got to remember tax returns are going to come out in February. So just keep on going, keep on watering, keep on being super pumped and enthusiastic, keep on following up, doing everything you need to do because, oh Lord, I'm stressed.
Yeah,
I'm stressed about boom time because I don't know what to do with myself when my whole phone is shutting off. I can't even respond to people because my phone is shutting off and getting so many notifications. I have 2 phones, you guys. I have 2 phones. I don't play. Okay? I do not play. I'm telling you, boom time is real. I'm ready.
That's so funny. And I can completely relate because I was just saying the other day, January of last year, the month before, right before I went to conference for the first time, it was the lowest enrollment month I'd ever had in my business. I signed 2 customers and that's it. Literally 2. This month I just hit 17 customers. And the truth of the matter is that I don't think, looking back, it was like you said, it's different for everybody. And it's this growth of, I truly believe, of faith. Yes. For the people, I have leaders on my team who went from enrolling, 2 loyal customers a month to 20 loyal customers a month. And everyone's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you know what they say? I listened to Allie. When it was November and everyone was sleeping, I was working my business. I was talking to people. I was getting numbers. The people that stayed on top of, and worked their businesses when everyone else is sleeping, they're the ones that are going to see this huge growth. If you just started your business, you have to understand that like you said, it's a mindset thing, and you get so hyped up, and the momentum is what carries your team. You know what I mean? Because you'll have people that are like, all right, yeah, I went from Ruby to Diamond. Like, this is the life. Been there. Like, I literally, that's what I did. And I look back now and I'm like, dang, if I had just, put in 2 more months, I could have gone, double, and I would probably be triple by now. But I thought that I had it made, and I was just going to lay back and chill out. And so that's, big advice for all of you on this is ride that momentum, because she's right. You're going to have people that sign up and chart themselves for Ruby in 3 days. And you're like, stranger just messaged me on Instagram and now they're like a Ruby on my team. Like, where did they come from? But God is so good. He is so good.
And that goes back to if that quick live video that Jay did earlier, when she was saying you guys, stop worrying about the how. You might think maybe you did just start, right? And maybe you have no distributors on your team. Maybe you only have 2 or 3, and you're like, how the heck am I supposed to hit my goal of Double Diamond by April, or whatever your goal is? I'm sure right now it seems so far away. Guys, when I was going Double Diamond, I thought there's no way. I need so much stuff. I enrolled this one girl, and she just enrolled her whole friend group, and all of them got their 4 loyal customers. And she had been following me for a year, and it just was the time she decided to join. You might stop looking at your chart and feeling like this is all on you. That's one thing that is going to screw you up. You need to stop worrying about the how. What you need to worry about is what you can control, which is you working your business, you being enthusiastic, you doing self-development and keeping your mind right, being on trainings like this, because you guys, it will fall in line if you are doing what you need to do. Every time I hear stories of people who pushed for promotions, it was always I had no idea, but they kept going. And then all of a sudden they enrolled these 2 people who were like, yeah, I just decided to, enroll my whole sorority, and then boom, diamond leg. You know what I'm saying? But if you slow down an inch with the doubt, and you start staring at your chart and you how, oh, don't do that. Try your hardest not to do that, you guys. That will ruin everything. You have got to put the pedal to the metal, and you have to fly. Because what happens when people join your team, when you have that kind of energy, it just lifts them right up. That's how people promote so quickly this time of year. Because if you are in the right headspace and you have the right, the right energy, people who join your team are going to get swept right up in it. And that's how those newbies, those new people enroll 5 people. And then they found a rock star on their Ruby chart, and that Ruby person enrolled a Ruby chart. And you're just my whole triple chart is full. My whole presidential chart is full. My whole diamond chart is full. Mm-hmm. But it's all here. You're the vortex of what's going to happen. Don't worry about the how. Worry about being the center of this crazy energy. That is what you need to worry about.
And you have to also, like she said, get your mind right, but have an open mind and an open heart. Because I was mailing some stuff out the other day, and this little old lady, cutest thing in the world, this must be a Southern thing, she comes up to me and she hands me a pamphlet about some church, and she's like, I just want to pray with you. I hope that you can see us at church. And it was very much like she blitzed me, except for the church she goes to. And I was sitting there thinking, I had the church that we go to, I had seen the bumper stickers for solid 3 years. Saw the bumper stickers, knew about the church, had never saw an online sermon except for something scrolling past through Facebook. It took one person, one time, to reach out to me and say, hey, will you come to church with us? And that is what sparked my relationship with God. And I'm going to get emotional. That's what changed my life. One person had to ask me, will you please come to church with us? They didn't care if I said yes. They didn't care if I said no, because you know what they did? They just asked. And they put it in God and the universe's hands. And so that's what so many of you guys, when you're looking at your potential distributors, or you're having a conversation, or you're looking at distributors that are on your team that may not be doing a dang thing right now, don't worry about, how it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen. Like if you are loyal and faithful and you've done what you needed to do and you've planted those seeds, and you guys have to understand, like, the excitement, the momentum, people are going to watch you go executive, and they're going to watch you go ruby, and they're going to watch you go emerald. And then they're going to be like, that's it. I've seen her promote enough. One of my leaders didn't join me until she saw me earn a $30,000 bonus. Took me earning a $30,000 bonus for her to join me. You know what I mean? And like Vanessa said, like, things are going to happen. And this time next year, you guys are going to be holding Zooms for your teams, saying the same things. Just wait. Just believe in us. Just trust that it's going to happen. We can't explain it, but it's going to happen. So,
you just have to have that faith.